Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Balaji Gopinath, Program Managing Director.
Good morning.
Morning.
So thank you all for being here, especially during a busy time in San Francisco. We have a jam-packed day today. Things are going to go fairly fast. We have 10 great companies that I'll be pitching and really want to meet you. So we provide a lot of time for networking, and that'll happen right after this. None of this stuff really happens without a big team to kind of go behind this. So I really want to thank the program team in particular. Maggie Hogan, Celeste Escalera, Cal Weeks, Arti Doshi, Mary Lemmer, Parker Sapp, and Nico Oliveri. So, and working with them, there's a tremendous amount of RGA services team, very talented folks. Been working with these startups the entire time, and you'll see a lot of the output today in terms of what they've done to help with. So with that, I would like to introduce Jonathan Bradley, VP and partner of RGA Ventures, to kind of kick off the day.
Thanks, bud. Thank you, everybody. So I'm Jonathan Bradley, and I am the lucky guy who gets to leverage all the capabilities of RGA to help our startups and find ways to connect them with our program partners and our clients. It's a great position to be in, and I believe it adds exceptional value for the startups who get to participate in our programs. I'd like to start today by asking this San Francisco-based audience one question. Who was the team that played in the Golden State Warriors jerseys last night? Sorry, too soon, I know. Well, we've assembled a collection of teams today that we don't think will disappoint. We're very excited for you to get to learn a bit about the great work that they've done leading up to our program, a little bit about what we've done with them in program, and we're very excited for you to have that opportunity today to hear directly from them. For those of you who may not be aware, RGA Ventures is the innovation and investment arm of RGA. This is our 7th program since we started in 2013, and our 8th program is currently underway in Los Angeles. We've also have 2 programs launching in Q1 next year. One is in New York, and it'll be focused on marketing tech, and the other will be in London, and that'll be our 3rd program focused on IoT. For each of our programs, approximately 75 RGA staff members work with the founders and the companies during the program. This includes our full range of capabilities, including brand specialists, strategists, designers, and developers. It's the support of this global talent pool, which we refer to as our creative capital, that is one of the key differentiators of our programs. We believe the companies that you'll see today are a great example of the quality and stage of companies that we work with in our programs and represent the best emerging companies in the commerce and retail space. Before we begin, I'd like to thank the RGA San Francisco office, which is led by Paola Colombo and Paolo Melchiori, for hosting the support and supporting the program, as well as our esteemed mentors, as well as our partners at Westfield Lab, and all of our program partners, including Macy's, Walmart, Bank of America, Shopify Plus, We Capital Ventures, who joined us from China, Commonwealth Bank, and Verizon. The strategic Thank you. Their strategic engagement is invaluable for the companies, and it starts long before the programs begin, where we work with them, each of those partners, to identify strategic opportunities that they're seeing in the marketplace, real-world opportunities to apply innovation and innovative startups, and then we go and we seek the best possible startups to match with each of those opportunities. So with that said, I'd like to introduce my good friend, David Blumenfeld from Westfield Labs.
Good morning. Welcome to Westfield. Welcome to Bespoke. For those of you who've always wanted to check coming to a work event in a mall off your list, you can now do that. So Westfield Labs, if you're not familiar with us, we are a division of Westfield, obviously really focused on how to remove the friction points from physical shopping using technology. This program has really been an extension of what we've been trying to do over the last 2 years, or 4 years really, which is to bring together startups, innovative companies to ultimately solve some of these challenges. And so this has definitely been a labor of love. We've been working on this for literally 2 years. We took the approach, just as we're a physical marketplace bringing a lot of companies together, unlike a lot of accelerators, we really wanted to make this a multi-company experience. And so while it's obviously more complicated to bring a lot of companies together, we all have certain challenges we're trying to solve. There was certainly a lot of commonality in what we were trying to put together. And so really excited to obviously have you guys get to see the companies that are kind of graduating today. There's a lot of really cool technology, a lot of great people. I do have to thank the RGA folks from Stephen and Jonathan and Balaji and Dylan. They put a lot of work into this program, a lot of work. It's not just, I think everybody thinks of an accelerator as, well, you just pick 10 companies, you throw them in a co-working space, and then 3 months later they come out and present. This is a very, very hands-on program. A lot of time and effort's gone in by a lot of people, including all the partners that are involved as well. So really excited to show those to you today. So without further ado, I have the pleasure of introducing the first company. So Healy Cipher, many of you may have known him from his eBay days. We've known each other for about 5 years. Actually, coincidentally, we launched some digital storefronts right outside this very wall. So if you know Healy, you know a couple things about him. He wears pants that are too tight for him. He's the only guy who is able to pull off the sockless penny loafer look. But as our first presenter today, he is really, really, really passionate. If you're not familiar with Oak has really built a connected store platform. They've gotten some notoriety around a very cool connected mirror inside of dressing rooms for places like Rebecca Minkoff and Ralph Lauren and others. And so he's going to come up here and talk today, not just about the mirror, but really what they're doing going forward, and actually, I think, announcing a new product in front of all of you. So without delay, I'll introduce Healy.
Come on, they're not, they're tight, but it's not that bad. Morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. I wanted to echo all those words. This has been an amazing program, and we're really, really honored to be part of it. So my name's Healy. It is my real name, CEO and founder of Oak. And my story actually started about 5 years ago when I was at eBay. I was serving as a chief of staff to the CTO, and we'd have all these retailers coming in, and we'd pitch them e-com solutions for 6 and 8 hours at a time. And at the ending, they'd always ask the same thing. They go, okay, this is great. Now, what about the in-store tech stuff? And we were like, the what? We had really nothing to say. So we started Oak. And Oak's entire thesis is the future of retail will be software defined, and we're going to tell you all about it. But here's the reason this matters. It's because this photo is real. This is actually a department store in 1916. And this is actually a department store in 2016. So I think what we can say has definitively changed is we definitely now have color cameras. So how have we gotten away with this? Well, it's because if you look historically, as a retailer, if you wanted to grow top-line revenue, what'd you do? Threw down more stores. And this is also true. We now have 45 square feet in the US of retail space for every man, woman, and child. That's like my first apartment in New York. It's crazy. And so what's happened as a result is, well, sales per square foot has taken a bit of a dive. We hit a saturation point. And in now what we call the post-Amazon era, it is impossible to compete solely on proximity, selection, and price. You've got to compete on experience. Easy to say, right? Really hard to do. It's really hard to get experiences in your store. And so we say, guys, we know there's a lot of stuff out there. Let's try to focus how we think about it. So we say, in the same way you think about e-com, it's a conversion funnel. How many people are going from the landing page to the product page to the cart to buying? The store is identical. When you walk into a store, you're probably doing one of two things. You probably know what you want, searching, or you'd like inspiration, browsing. Search versus browse. Sounds kind of like a home page. As you see products on shelves, product pages go into the fitting room. That's a cart, checkout. Checkout. It's the best part of the metaphor, actually. And so we built the Oak operating system. And what it is the first connected store platform that pulls in 4 very important pieces of information. The first, online assets. The second is inventory from the store. Third is CRM data, and the fourth is point of sale. And if you're in retail, you know that basically that's everything. And upon that, you can build some amazing experiences. So we started in the fitting room. And the way the Oak Mirror works is, I'm going to go and tell you a little bit more about the platform before I go to the mirror. We think about it in 2 buckets. So there's explicit technology. There's technology you see. Customers walk in, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's experiences, it's viral. But there's also, probably even more important, the implicit technology. So it's the technology customers don't really see. But for some reason, the store just works. It's just better. Lines are shorter. Everything's in the right place. And so we're going to tell you a little bit about our first piece of tech, the explicit, and then announce our implicit. So this is our first product. This is the Oak Mirror. When we launched this with Ralph Lauren, David mentioned Minkoff as well. You walk in, and the mirror itself actually comes alive. It's pretty cool. Lights go up. It sees everything else you brought into the fitting room. And you can change the lighting. You can change the language. You can request other sizes, colors, and recommendations from the mirror. It goes to an associate who, when they respond, by the way, it shows their name and face. So we're not dehumanizing the store experience. We're rehumanizing it, because that's the reason you came into the store. Finally, you can push it to your phone. Good-looking associate there. You can push it to your phone and buy later, kind of like abandoned cart in the physical world. Or, we just built this. It's so cool. You can tap your phone in the glass, buy everything in the fitting room, and also buy the things that weren't in the store but are available online. Single tap, blended cart. So we launched this about 10 months ago, and we've seen some really compelling results. So to date, and this is in a few cities now, over 20,000 unique customers have used this. We've had, on average, 84 out of 100 people use it. Meaningful use cases. So they walk in, and they use the interface an average of 5.7 taps in. But more importantly, and I'm really excited to tell you guys about this, is we've done a lot of basket size analysis. We found that when someone uses this mirror for a request versus doesn't use it at all, the average basket lift is 59%. Yeah. All of this, by the way, while spending 40% less time in the fitting room. So we think the new metric is not just dollars per square foot, it's dollars per minute per square foot. No one wants to wait for anything. And so speaking of waiting, we started looking at some data. We started getting data that I think has actually really never been technically gathered in the history of retail. Obvious stuff. What percentage of traffic is going into the fitting room, what garments are converting versus other ones. That's interesting. Think about the merch team. And also, service levels. How long would it take when you asked for something for that item to actually enter the fitting room? So associates said it'll be about 3 minutes. And we were like, that's a good target. Guess what the actual answer was? 6 minutes and 15 seconds. As long as 12 or 18 minutes. Can you imagine standing in a fitting room with your pants off for, actually don't do that, for 12 minutes? It's a long time. And so of course when you run the analysis, guess what plummets when service plummets? Conversion. People just bounce. And so we went into the store, and we were going to get pretty rowdy with them, like, yo, what are you guys doing? Like, you got to get better at your job. And they were trying really hard. They had these radios that were really hard to communicate. So we built, and we're announcing today, the Oak Stockroom tool. And this is a really, really simple, effective tool. The way it works is if you have a request from the front of the house, you scan the tag, shows you inventory, you press a button, and it goes bling, and it shows a product image, which I know seems pretty obvious. They don't usually have those in stores, of what they've asked for, where it's got to go, and starts counting down the clock. All of a sudden, they know they're being timed. Someone's going to see that. We've seen in the first tests over 60 days, this has taken the average intra-store fulfillment from 6 minutes and 15 seconds down to 1 minute and 39. And there's a lot more here. I mean, predictive replenishment, looking at point of sale. We can talk about it more if you want to. So as I mentioned, we launched with Ralph Lauren. We've been really busy. We have a lot more logos coming up. We're actually launching around the world now, which is really exciting, also really crazy, some of these brands. And this is possible because this is the best team I've ever worked with in my entire life. Uniquely suited for retail tech. People from Google, from PayPal, from you name it, they came from there. But really, it's people who know deep retail, people who know technology, and we built this entire platform to work in retail. Because guess what? If you don't do that, it's going to fail. And we all have probably experienced that. So I'm really thankful to them. So in conclusion, I think in the same way that Tesla looked at cars, and Tesla said, we want to hit a button and have the entire car change. We think that stores will be the same way. You're going to hit a button, and the whole store will change. And this is why we built Oak, is to create that software-defined future. Thanks.
Hey everybody, my name is Valerie Hecka. I am the EVP of Digital at Benefit Cosmetics, which is a beauty brand owned by LVMH. Hopefully some of the women in the room know what I'm talking about. I met Reply, who you're going to be meeting shortly, about 3 months ago. I had an opportunity to work with them as a mentor, which was amazing for me because they work in a space I'm really interested in and wanted to learn about. So it's always great when you're supposed to be the mentor, but you get mentored. The Reply team is focused on the chatbot space, and one of the things that really struck me, because we're always rolling out new marketing initiatives, try to stay close to our customer, be where our customer is every day, and we know that messaging is huge. It's where the majority of our customers are spending their time online. So we're like, how do we interact with our customers in this space, and how do we do it in an efficient way? The challenge for us was always that we launch a lot of marketing initiatives and they have a big bang, but they're not sustainable in the long term. And I think that the Reply team has some really smart thinking about how to make chatbots operatable in the long term for brands, and I think that they're going to win because of that. I also think the team has pretty incredible hustle and a lot of expertise in their space. So I'm not going to blather on about them too much longer. I'm going to let them come up here and tell you about what they do. Maybe Clara DeSoto can come up here and share with you what Reply is up to. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. Valerie, thanks for that great introduction. I'm Clara from Reply, and we're powering one-to-one conversations at scale. One-to-one communication is vital for companies to maintain their relationships. Now, for years, this has meant call centers, stacked social media teams, and the problem is that they're expensive and they're hard to scale. And the reality is people's preferences have changed. We are now officially in the messaging age. Messaging is global. From boomers to Gen Z, messaging is something everyone can do. It's already installed on phones, and it's the preferred communication method for the largest consumer group on the planet. That's why you've been hearing so much about bots lately. Bots are software that automate actions, services, and access to information via messaging. And in the messaging age, bots are essential to meeting customers' expectations, and companies need the right partner to succeed in this new model. And that's what we provide at Reply. Reply is an end-to-end solution that provides an evergreen technology layer to build, manage, and optimize bots that scale one-to-one communication. In human terms, Reply is the plumbing that makes sense of the chaos and opportunity of messaging. Now, Reply can improve the customer experience in a variety of ways. As you might have guessed, Reply can reduce high-touch, low-value interactions. So often, questions are easy to answer. Things like, where's my order? What's the status of my return? What are your store hours? We found that up to 60% of these questions can be automated, which we learned firsthand when we built Starbucks' first bot. Turns out there's a lot of people out there that want to know when they can get their hands on a pumpkin spice latte. Now, Reply bots can also generate revenue by reducing the friction from the consumer journey. And no one knows this better than Unilever's hair care brand, Nexus. When we built their bot, it was more than just customer support or commerce, but a hair care concierge that alleviated a lot of the hurdles and questions that can arise in the purchasing process by delivering a level of personalization like never before. This bot not only recommended product based on hair type, but based on weather conditions and humidity levels in the user's location, which is great for you curly-haired folks out there. Now, sure, Reply bots might cut costs, but the reality is that they increase throughput by reaching an entirely new demographic. That's the power of people talking to businesses the same way they would chat with their friends. But perhaps most importantly, reply bots can improve the user experience. Now, anytime that a user interacts with a bot that's been built on Reply, we create a profile on that user, storing their data, their purchases, their preferences, to provide context for every interaction going forward, so they're never talking to a stranger. This was crucial when we launched Vio's bot, when they wanted to provide customer support for returning users who had recently purchased laptops. Now, we have what some might say is an unconventional view in the bot community, and that's that we believe that bots should act like bots and humans should act like humans. One shouldn't be hoodwinking the other. This isn't Blade Runner. And so as a result, if a reply bot can't provide a service, our proprietary takeover tool can integrate into any customer service engine so that a live agent can take over only when necessary with context. And context is what turns transactions into conversations, which is what strengthens those relationships between business and consumer. So much so that just last week at Facebook's Global Partners Summit, they announced that because of bots on Messenger, customer satisfaction rates have risen from 10 to 90%. Anyway, so getting started on Reply is a simple 3-step process. First is the build phase. Our motto is to think big, but start small. We begin by providing a utility, tackling your most frequently asked questions. And because we know that one size most definitely does not fit all, our code-free building environment allows those that know the subject matter the best to be at the helm of bot creation, ensuring that we're truly capturing the brand's voice and values without having to burn developer cycles. But building is just the beginning. Management is where the fun begins. We have all kinds of advanced features like audience segmentation, campaign management, artificial intelligence plugins, the ability to integrate into anything from APIs to CRMs to Zendesk, Salesforce, multi-channel distribution. We even have a bot that can live in an ad unit, because the #1 question we get is around discoverability. And then finally, the optimization phase. Reply provides the analytics, testing, and reporting tools to ensure that your bot is constantly learning and improving and truly harnessing the power of this new and incredibly intimate communication medium. And optimization is where we can truly turn a bot into a conversational strategy. Now, we're currently powering conversations for brands all over the world, across industry, and what we've learned from them is the greatest value that bots can provide is at the core of the customer experience. And you can see this for yourself with Go Vote Bot, a bot that we launched in partnership with the Ad Council and our friends right here at RGA. Go Vote Bot helps users navigate the quagmire that is the voting process, from registration all the way up to casting your ballot on election day. And no one needs a customer experience upgrade quite like the American government. Now, we're a proven team of seasoned entrepreneurs with previous companies, products, awards, and a successful exit under our belts. So if you're an innovator that's looking to solve problems and reach new users, come talk to us. Thank you so much again.
Good morning, despite the Cubs losing last night. Go Cubs. I'm Patrick Egan. I run North American investments for Qualcomm Ventures. At Qualcomm Ventures, we love this concept of frontier tech, really disruptive tech that solves non-trivial problems. Clarifai is a quintessential example of such. So there was a lot of news about Clarifai yesterday, but we were very early investors. We invested in the company in early 2014, when at the time, they were just building quietly perhaps one of the most talented machine learning teams in the world out of New York. And they were a pioneer in neural networks and deep learning technologies to do image classification. So fancy term for effectively democratizing AI for the masses. Simply said, Clarifai has developed an API that allows any third-party developer, whether a wedding photographer or a large-scale e-commerce retailer, to unlock the power of computer vision and AI. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome my friend and general manager of Clarifai, David Blank. There he is.
Thanks, Patrick. My name is David Blank from Clarifai. Our mission is to understand every image and video to improve people's lives. Now, as human beings, we are visual creatures. What that means is, as you all know, we love to look at photos. We love to look at videos. What we don't want to do is read through a lot of text. And that's why the web is becoming more and more visual every day. In fact, over 80% of web content will be visual just in the next couple of years. And for most of us and everybody in the world, that's actually really cool. It's going to make life a lot of fun. But for developers and companies, it actually causes a lot of pain. And I want to tell you why. So computers notoriously have a very difficult time understanding visual content. What we do intuitively, which is to look at photos and videos and images and understand them immediately, computers have a really difficult time with. So that means they can do complex things like win a chess game or win at Jeopardy, but they can't tell the difference between a chihuahua and a muffin. So the way that we've done moderation and organization of content is purely manually in the past. We've had human moderation teams that actually go through every single photo and video and tag it. This is extremely time-consuming and really, really expensive. The good news is that all of this is changing with breakthroughs in AI and machine learning technologies. And so the question is how does this affect people that are in commerce? So today's customer, today's consumer has changed dramatically. Their expectations are very high. They expect you, or she expects you, to know who she is, what she's looking for, and what she wants to purchase immediately. Now, companies like Amazon and Google have solved this problem. But they're Amazon and Google. They've invested billions of dollars and allocated tons of resources towards solving this problem. The question for everybody else is, what does everybody else do? How does all these other companies compete in an increasingly visual world? And that's where Clarifai comes in. We empower developers and businesses to help their customers find what they're looking for, literally. We have a really easy to use but very powerful API that essentially allows you to pass us all of your images and videos, and we recognize what's in those in real time. So the best way to help you understand this is to show you an example. This is your product catalog in the Clarifai platform. You could see we could see very simple concepts such as a red purse or a blue purse, but we can also get very nuanced and specific, such as a metal zipper or a handle on top or a clutch or a handbag. The point here is that whatever your taxonomy is, whatever your language is for your business, that's what we use for recognition. And on the back end of what we do is convolutional neural net artificial intelligence, which means that we can ensure the highest level of accuracy in our recognition. Next up, what we do is we know what your customer is looking for. Here's an example of an Instagram feed. In the upper left-hand corner, you're going to see a photo of someone holding a purse, okay? So imagine one of your customers going through their feed, they see this, and they say, hey, that looks really interesting. I think I might want to buy that. How do I find that? So they take a snapshot of that, they upload it into your app, that gets passed to us on the back end through the API, and we recognize that. We apply tags to it, and we match those tags against your product catalog, and then we also make recommendations. We'll also take into account any promotions you might have going on, and then anything that's visually similar we'll take into account, and boom, we serve up this, which is the exact bag that she was looking for and wanted to buy. And we did all of that in less than a second. So we've been around for not too long, less than 3 years, but we have a stellar group of customers. We work with companies like Dove, AOL, BuzzFeed, and a long list of others. And the reason we've been able to do this was something that Patrick mentioned before, which is that we've created a frictionless environment and a frictionless product, which means we've taken the complexity out of AI. And we have thousands of developers and companies using us every single month. And what that means, it means a couple things. That we're powering a lot of apps and businesses today, but that also we're getting smarter every single day because each one of these individuals and companies that are using us can also pass us feedback data that makes our AI smarter and our platform smarter every day. What this equates to is that we're applying over 1 billion tags every month to visual content. I'm very proud to say that we've raised $40 million to date. We made an announcement yesterday where we did our Series B led by Menlo Ventures, a $30 million round, and we're very appreciative of that. And we have a great team of investors backing us. Now, the investors obviously have seen the numbers, and part of the backing is obviously towards that, but it's really behind this team of amazing data scientists, engineers, and commercial folks led by our CEO and founder, Matt Zeeler. What's important here that I want you to take away is that my question of before about how all these other companies are going to compete in this increasingly visual world, this is your answer. It's our team. We've built a team to be your visual recognition team. So I'd love for you guys to try us out and your teams to try us out. We're offering 1 million free API operations for you and your teams. Would love for you to stop by and talk to us afterwards, and we can talk about it. Thank you.
Hey folks, my name is Vishwas Prabhakara. I'm the general manager of Yelp Reservations, the fastest growing reservation system out there for restaurants, connecting Yelp's 95 million users to thousands of restaurants. And in those thousands of restaurants, we have 40,000 frontline employees, hosts and hostesses, that are using our product every single day. And what we've learned working with restaurants is training frontline employees is really hard, developing them is really hard, but it's critical to their success. This is an industry that employs 10% of America's workforce. And that's when I found Myagi. Myagi is a really interesting product. They're the first company I've seen that has taken training and development, made it into a digestible format, primarily video and quizzes, and then delivered it, and this is the important part, to the pocket of every frontline associate of their customers. So I won't go on and on about Myagi. I'm going to let them tell their own story. So I'd like to invite my friend Tom McLeod, who's the CEO and co-founder of Myagi, to tell you more about what they're doing. I hope you find it as compelling as we have at Yelp. Thanks.
Good morning. Now, before I get started, I'm going to preface this with saying that we're probably the only company you're going to see today who isn't trying to replace mankind with super intelligent robots. So if you're expecting that, I'm sorry to disappoint you in advance. So my name is Tom McLeod, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Myagi. Now, it's no great mystery that retail is currently in a state of massive upheaval, probably the greatest upheaval since the invention of the store. Margins are being squeezed, it's harder than ever to acquire customers. And to give you an example of the extent of this upheaval, the top 20 retailers in the United States will close more than 1,000 stores between them this year. But with any kind of upheaval comes massive opportunity as well. And for retailers, their greatest opportunity today is right in front of them. In fact, it's something they invest already in today. And it might be trite to say, but that opportunity is their people. And more specifically, it's their sales associates. Sales associates who can create emotionally engaging customer experiences sell 40% more and get customers coming back 33% more often. Just think about those numbers for a moment. Think about how much effort retailers put into trying to drive top-line sales up by 1%, 2%, and then contrast that with 40. Now, the challenge with this has always been, how do you actually scale that kind of performance across every single sales associate, every single store in your network? Now, we know it's not through lack of trying. Retailers and brands already spend more than $70 billion every single year on face-to-face training sessions. But the scary stat is that only covers less than 10% of what sales associates actually need to know in order to create those emotionally engaging experiences. And this is where Myagi comes in. Myagi is a software as a service platform that gives retailers the tools to enable their sales associates to have the skills, knowledge, confidence, and all important context to be able to give them the knowledge to be able to close the sale and create that emotionally engaging customer connection. So how does it actually work? So firstly, Myagi aggregates sales performance enhancing content from retailers, brands, and hundreds of other sources together. We then, via our intelligent allocation engine, make sure that that content arrives to the right person at exactly the right time to have the greatest impact on engagement. And as Vish said before, one important part of the platform is we deliver that information right to the pocket, right to the front line, right to the pocket of the sales associate. And as the sales associates consume that content, we collect that data and feed it back to our retail and brand partners, but also back into our own models so we can continually improve and learn, allow that model to learn so that it can continually get better at allocating content where it's going to maximize important retailer KPIs like sales and customer service scores. So stats, theories, all well and good, but does it actually work? So in retailers that have implemented Myagi, we've seen a broad-based lift in customer service reviews and customer feedback on platforms like Yelp and Google reviews, which are absolutely essential today in acquiring new customers through search. We've also increased average transaction value by anywhere between 5 and 60%. And finally, we've lifted conversion rates by an average of 20%. So Myagi effectively allows you to get more shoppers coming in more frequently, buying more often. So how are we doing on our traction? What's the company's state? So we touch tens of thousands of sales associates across more than 5,000 retail stores every single day. We work with 3 of the top 4 footwear brands in the world, 2 of the top 3 cycling brands in the world, and 4 of the top 5 golf brands in the world as well. And on the retailer side, we work with household names like Toys R Us and the Intersport Group, which is the largest chain of sports retailers in the entire world. And all of these things combined have culminated in us allowing us to be able to grow our revenue 3 times in the last 9 months alone. When people ask you how you're going to scale Myagi to be a multi-billion dollar business, it sounds like a cliche answer to say, well, it's our team, but it is. 90% of our team have actually worked in retail, and many on the commercial side have been retail executives, have built extremely successful retail and wholesale businesses and exited those businesses. So we have a deep understanding and empathy for the actual problem set that we're solving for. And on the technical side as well, we have a world-class technical team who has built a fantastic product that's used by thousands of sales associates every day and has engagement scores and NPS scores that are in the top echelon of any application. So finally, we are Myagi, and we are powering the sales associate of the future. If you're a retailer and you would like to learn more about how we're driving retail workforce performance, please see my co-founder, Simon Turner, who is waving like an octopus down the back. And if you're an investor and you'd like to join us along this journey of transforming the largest workforce in the entire world, I'd love to chat to you afterwards. Thank you very much.
Hello. I'm Mary, the mentor in residence for the program, and I first met this Next founder and bonded with him over 2 things: gelato and the inefficiencies in sales teams in retail environments, which are more alike than you may think. I happen to own a small chain of gelato shops in Michigan, and despite the fact that it's cold and snowy more months out of the year in Michigan, that is not one of the main factors that drive sales and impact sales. Actually, there are a few other things. One, whether or not we have the pumpkin spice latte gelato flavor in stock. Two, whether or not University of Michigan football team won the game on Saturday. And three, how effective the sales associate is in talking to other human beings. And so I was really excited to meet Greg of Percolata because he is solving this problem. And Greg is incredibly smart. He went to Caltech and Berkeley and has worked in product and marketing and engineering and worked in corporate venture. He's done a lot of stuff. And he has chosen to spend his time solving a problem that I've experienced and am excited to use the solution for, which is Percolata. So without further ado, Greg Tanaka, the CEO of Percolata.
Well, good morning. I'm here to talk about one of the biggest misallocation of resources here in the United States. So 1 out of every 4 Americans works in retail. It's the largest sector of employment in the United States. Yet, according to a recent University of North Carolina study, almost 90% of the time, the retail is either overstaffed or understaffed. Percolata solves this problem. We optimize the retail sales team. My name is Greg Tanaka. I'm founder and CEO. Now, the retail market is massive. Worldwide, it's $25 trillion. Yet, despite hundreds of billions of dollars that have been spent to get consumers to buy online, 92% of their transactions still happen in the physical store. In fact, a lot of online pure-play retailers have opened physical stores. This is like Bonobos, Amazon, and many others. And the reason why is because it's about the customer experience in the store. And the customer experience in the store is shaped by who's on the sales floor. What you want to do is you want to match the salespeople to the shoppers coming in. Now, this is hard to do for really 3 reasons. The first reason is you have to know who's coming into the store. You have to know the profile of the traffic and what kind of shoppers there are. The second thing is that the way most retailers get the availability of the employee is through the job application. So the prospective applicant will put down on their job application when they're available, and they're expected to stick with it for the duration of their tenure. But just imagine this is what Uber did when you first signed up as a driver, and you had to give your availability and stick with it. How many Uber drivers do you think there might be? Probably not too many. And the third reason has to do with the fact that in retail, there's 2 types of work. There's task-based work, let's say like we're stocking a shelf, and then there's sales-based work. For task-based work, there's not too much difference between the average person and the top. But for sales, there's orders of magnitude. Percolata solves these 3 problems. We optimize retail sales teams. Now, to illustrate what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you an actual case study. This is real data. It's from a high-end men's shoe retail chain. In fact, I'm wearing those shoes right now. And what you see on the y-axis is a metric we call shopper yield, dollars divided by number of shoppers that come in. On the x-axis, it shows time. And what you notice is there's great variations between different days in terms of their shopper yield. Some days it's really high, some days it's really low. And this isn't because of the weather, the merchandising, the marketing, or even phases of the moon. It's all due to who is on the sales floor. Who's on the sales floor determines the productivity of the store. So what we did for this chain is we basically deployed our sensors. It taps whatever power that happens to be in the ceiling, and it uses 3 different sensing modalities to essentially figure out the profile of traffic coming in. It uses computer vision, it uses technology called mobile fingerprinting, and then audio analytics. And by doing that, we know what kind of shoppers are actually on the sales floor at any given time. The second step is that we have an app for the associate where they can give their availability anytime, anywhere, Uber style. What this does, this actually increases the availability of the workers for the store and allows us to shuffle them more effectively. The third step is we take this data and we feed it into our cloud-based forecaster. What we do is we look at the marketing calendar, we look at weather forecast, even last year's point of sales data, to forecast what is the profile of traffic going to look like over the next scheduling period. And then rather than just staffing random people against this forecasted sales load, we staff the right mix of people in the right number that will maximize sales. Now for the store manager, all this machine learning, all this big data is really hidden behind just 2 button clicks. The first button click is the generate button. You press generate and it automatically generates the ideal schedule that will maximize sales. The second button is just to publish it to the employee's smartphone. Now I showed you this graph before, but let me show you what happens after you implement the technology. So what you notice is that you get higher peaks of shopper yield and more frequent peaks of shopper yield. Not only did this retailer save 11.5 hours of time per month scheduling, but they got a 20% boost in revenue. Contrast this to the average increase for a physical retailer, which is only about 1.2% per year. They got a 20% boost in revenue using the same exact people, using the same exact labor budget. All we did was just shuffle when people were working. As a result, we have overwhelming demand for our service. To date, we have over 18.4 million hours that under contract that we schedule. And this is from some top-tier retailers, leaders in apparel, beauty, fashion, electronics, sporting goods. These are household brands. Now, how did we do all of this? We did it with a kick-ass technical team that hails from Caltech, Berkeley, Stanford, or companies like Google or Tencent. And we combine it with people who have deep retail knowledge, people who have been CIO or VP IT at places like Williams-Sonoma, J.Crew, Toys R Us. And it's all backed by some top-tier investors like Google Ventures, Andreessen Horowitz, Menlo Ventures, and many others. My name is Greg Tanaka. I'm founder and CEO of Percolata, and Percolata optimizes retail sales teams. I look forward to talking to all of you afterwards. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is David Newman. I've been the SVP of Operations and Innovation at Restoration Hardware for 8 days now. But I've been in retail for 20 years, and I've worked in retail operations at companies like Target, Walmart, Apple, and some startups like Narvar, where I was most recently. I had a few months off over the summer, and that enabled me to spend a lot of time at this amazing program. And when I saw the list of great companies that were here, the name Darkstore jumped out immediately. In the retail landscape, brick and mortar retailers have been kicking around this idea of dark stores and what to do with the fact that they're overbuilt and there's excess capacity, and we've all seen shuttered stores out there. And nobody's really had a great idea of how to go after the best use of this extra capacity. So I was thrilled to meet Lee Natinka and Wilson Lee and the Darkstore team, and over the last few months has spent a couple of weeks working really closely with these guys, and I'm blown away by the way they're attacking the problem, and this is a huge addressable market that they're looking at. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Lee Natinka. Lee's a serial entrepreneur. He thinks really big, he works tirelessly, and he has amazing instincts when it comes to people and partners. So here's Lee.
Good morning, and thank you for coming. My name is Lee, and I'm the CEO and founder of Darkstore, a company enabling the best delivery experience on earth for every single e-commerce brand. Today, we have the amazing ability to buy something online. Except when we shop on every single website except one, it still takes days to get our package. This is because generally fulfillment centers were put outside of cities. Much of the time and cost that goes into shipping your package is because it has to go from here to here. But we see a better way. What if the fulfillment center was here, in the city? In looking at our market, we found that the people and places already existed for this to happen. They just needed a platform that empowered them to do fulfillment. Darkstore is this platform. We enable e-commerce brands to store inventory in storage facilities, warehouses, and courier depots. And we empower those guys to accept and fulfill orders with just a smartphone. Here's how Darkstore works. We launched Darkstore just 5 months ago with our first Darkstore in San Francisco. And today, I'm excited to announce that we're launching Darkstore in New York and in Phoenix. Now here's how Darkstore works. First, a brand sends inventory to one of our dark stores. Our Darkstore partner then uses our custom Darkstore partner iPhone app to scan the inventory in. Now, the brand is able to offer fast delivery, specifically same day or on demand, to their customers. When a customer places an order, it's fulfilled within moments and delivered in hours, not days. We charge just a 3% fulfillment fee of the item retail price, and we share this fulfillment revenue with our Darkstore partners. This enables us to not have to build fulfillment centers and operate in a capital-light manner. And just to clarify, Darkstore does not do deliveries itself. We've partnered with the best last-mile delivery networks like UberRush, Postmates, and Axlehire. And when you plug into Darkstore, you get access to every single one of these delivery services with no extra integration. By putting the fulfillment center in the city, not only were we able to achieve fast delivery at a low price, but by doing this, it increased customer satisfaction. One of our brands has seen an unheard of Net Promoter Score of 85 when asking their customers about their fast delivery experience. Those big boxes you saw just moments ago is from one of our launch partners, Tuft & Needle. These guys have designed a beautiful mattress that fits in a box. And before Darkstore, on average, they were able to get their product to their customers in 3 days. And now, with Darkstore, they're able to get it to them in just 3 hours. And we enable this for them in 3 cities. Not only are they excited about what we've done for them to date, but they can't wait to see where we take them next. So what does this mean for e-commerce? It means less orders will die in the cart, and because happier customers are more likely to place an order, it means increased sales for everyone. As I mentioned, Darkstore's just 5 months old, and I'd love to show you the journey that we took to get here today. We started with just 2 brands when we launched, and today we're launching 6 more brands. We've gone from 0 to $700,000 in projected annual recurring revenue just in this time and just in these markets. That's 120% month-over-month growth. And so this isn't a moment of validation, but a moment of what's possible. At the core, Darkstore is a customer experience company. We believe that the fulfillment part of e-commerce is ripe for innovation, and I'd love to speak to everyone here today that feels the same way we do. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Dylan Boyd, Managing Director with RGA Ventures. Today I'm pretty excited. I get to introduce not only an amazing founder, an amazing company, but someone I've personally known for over 10 years. Jeremy Swift is building a company called Cordial. that's taking his learnings of building past messaging platforms and applying it to today's world. So from mobile, from IoT, from data, from machine learning. I know many of you out here are probably frustrated every morning when you wake up and skim through your inbox and see things are out of date or not targeted to you or not relevant. Cordial's solving this, not only in the morning when you wake up, but minute by minute for major brands and major companies, disrupting some of the biggest players in a very short amount of time. So please help me today welcome Jeremy from Cordial.
Good morning. It's good to be here with all of you today. Again, my name is Jeremy Swift. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Cordial. Cordial is an adaptive messaging platform powered by machine learning. We help retailers and publishers combine analytics with machine learning to adapt messaging to exactly what the customer needs in the moment. We are the future of messaging automation, and we're absolutely disrupting a $20 billion category that's been around for 20 years. Now, nearly 20 years ago, my co-founders and I were some of the first movers within the email marketing and marketing automation space. We built, scaled, and sold companies, and we've worked with nearly all of the big cloud platforms in the category over that time. My CSO, David Baker, was recently awarded this year the Email Thought Leader of the Year by the Direct Marketing Association. My CTO and head of product are brilliant technical minds who I've had the pleasure of working with for over 16 years. Together, we built and sold our last company to Digital River. Now, consumer habits have changed dramatically over the last 20 years, as I'm sure all of you can imagine. The average attention span of a millennial and Gen Z is now just 8 seconds. They also receive over 400 emails per week in their inbox, and they view these on mobile at a significantly greater rate than older generations ever have. Now, the thing is, marketers need a solution for this always connected consumer. It's expected by 2020, 50 billion new connected consumer devices will be on the market. All of these generating trillions of digital interactions that marketers need to be prepared to take advantage of. Now, the marketing cloud platforms in this space were all created and architected for a consumer who was connected to a desktop computer, which is why nearly a third of all brands every single year switch off of these platforms and providers. Now, with the years of expertise that we have within this space, we're acutely aware of the pain points that marketers face on a daily basis still to this day. Marketers and brands are looking for things like rapid audience targeting to be able to identify a segment of customers and immediately take action against those. They're looking for tools to help them with real-time message personalization, and they're looking for solutions to help them with rapid testing and optimization of these messages. This is exactly why we started Cordial. Marketers need a different approach. Cordial was built from the ground up to reach this mobile customer on the platforms and the channels that they use every day today, as well as the platforms and channels they'll use tomorrow. Now, let me be clear. Cordial is not just another email service provider. We've got plenty of those. Cordial collects and analyzes billions of customer behaviors across channels like web, mobile, point of sale, and even connected products. We do all of this in one central place for the customer. Cordial also adapts and learns and understands messaging in the moment based off of the actions that a customer has just taken. We then rapidly personalize each message one by one based off of these unique behaviors that a customer is showing us. And we've built this to scale for the world's largest brands. And for the first time in our category, we are using machine learning to help optimize the content and the timing of these messages over time, an incredibly powerful solution for marketers and brands. Now, this is just the beginning of progressive brands that have decided to partner with Cordial and get off this merry-go-round of switching providers year after year after year. In 18 months in market, we've helped over 75 brands drive key metrics, improve sales, and ultimately grow their customer base as well. For a member-based retail site, GovX, tremendous customer of ours, they are a member-based retail site for first responders, actually. We've helped them improve conversions for first purchase members by over 300% since they've started using Cordial. Additionally, we've helped them reduce conversion for first purchasers from 60 days all the way down to 30 days. Now for Edmunds.com, one of the largest car publisher sites in the market, they've leveraged our machine learning capabilities to help them send and optimize real-time price alerts based off of the exact car that the customer is viewing on their website in that moment. Because of programs like these, Edmunds has grown their revenue 4x month over month using Cordial. Now, just like we did for Edmunds, we've made it incredibly easy for brands to onboard. What traditionally takes these older and slower platforms in this category 3 to 6 months to onboard a customer has taken Cordial less than 30 days with every single customer to date. Because of this, nearly 60% of all of our customers have migrated off of these legacy cloud platform solutions. Now, we're big believers as well that brands should be able to try any solution with their data in their environment before they get locked into a long-term contract. Because of this, we've developed a proven process for conducting proof of concepts that we execute over a 2 to 4 week period. And to date, we're batting 1,000 on every single one of these that we've run for customers. 2016 has been an incredible year so far for Cordial. We're on track to do more than $3 million in revenue this year, a 400% increase over last year, and we are not stopping there. We're onboarding 20 new retail customers this month alone, a 5x increase over last month, all to prepare these brands for the most important retail shopping season of the year. We're raising a strategic round of investment right now. And with the momentum of RGA and this program, 2017 is going to be an even bigger year as we look to expand our machine learning capabilities, our mobile messaging offerings, and grow our customer base. So to each brand and investor here in the room, we'd love to talk with you further about this exciting next phase of our growth. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Brad Allen. I'm VP of Commerce at RGA. When I first met Remy and Pramod, it was very obvious that they had deep expertise in machine learning and natural language processing. But what impressed me much more was their broader understanding of the commerce space and the trends that are really going to shape this industry going forward. It's more clear than ever that providing amazing customer service is going to be incredibly important for brands and retailers. The challenge, at least digitally, is how to do this at scale. I believe that Agent Q has a solution that will meet this challenge in the near future. So without further ado, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Pramod Thamaya, who is the co-founder of Agent Q.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pramod Thamaya, co-founder of Agent Q, and we're an AI-powered chat platform for sales and customer service. Every year, over $40 billion is lost due to bad customer service. And this is due to the fact that existing tools are built for the past, namely email and phone. However, your customers are increasingly shifting to using chat and messaging. And the problem is, users expect response times that are 100 times faster than what they expected with email. Existing tools just can't keep up, and a purely manual approach won't work. So how can AI help? We've assembled a team from the top research universities and companies, including Harvard, Cornell, Yale, and Google. And we analyzed thousands of customer interactions to see how AI can be best applied to solving this problem. We looked at messages such as, what's your return policy? Or do you have any dressers on sale? Or someone hacked into my account. And what you'll notice is that these vary a lot in how complex and difficult they are to resolve. But what's really interesting is that complexity and frequency have a very strong relationship. Namely, that simple things, like what's your return policy, are also very frequent. Moderately complex things like, do you have any dresses on sale, are moderately frequent. And then really complicated things like someone hacked into my account are infrequent. Now, AI is well equipped for dealing with that head of that distribution. There's a lot of training data, and AI can become very accurate in responding to these types of inquiries. However, for the same reasons, it's not going to be good at handling the tail of this distribution. There's not enough data for the AI to be able to train on this. On the flip side, humans are really good at thinking on their feet and dealing with these one-off scenarios. But as we mentioned earlier, humans can be hard to scale and costly to use for these frequent interactions. Agent Q's approach is to seamlessly blend AI and humans to get the best of both worlds. Concretely, what we've done is we've built a platform where your human representatives can interact with your customers across a variety of chat channels, including SMS, on-site chat, and Facebook Messenger. And Agent Q's AI technologies work in the background to greatly augment and increase the productivity and efficiency of your human representatives. Let's go through a few examples to see how this works in practice. So first, that simple example we talked about earlier. What's your return policy? The Agent Q AI has seen this example or a variant of this question many times over and is very confident in what's going on and can fire off a response instantly without any human intervention, greatly reducing the caseload for your human representatives. Going to that second example of a product inquiry. I want a short dresser with at least 6 drawers that's less than $1,000. This fairly complex natural language product search is something Agent Q can handle. It searches over your product catalog and finds the relevant products to surface to your representatives in a rich media format with images, price info, and other metadata. Now, your agents can send a product card like this with one click so that your customers have a much better experience. And then finally, we have this complicated interaction of someone hacked into my account. Here, Agent Q realizes, hey, this is above my pay grade. I'm going to take a step back and let the human resolve this. Now, how does this all work? At the core of it, we have a pre-trained AI model which allows us to structure and understand raw natural language. And from there, we feed into it your data. And by that, your product catalog, your FAQs, and your historical customer interactions. And what's important to note here is because we use a pre-trained core to our system, we don't need a lot of data from you to make this effective. Now, combining these two pieces, we're able to generate responses that match your brand language and let you interact with your customers the way you want. And finally, the best part, Agent Q is continuously learning. Because we built our platform with AI and machine learning from the ground up, we're structuring and analyzing how your agents are responding to customers, allowing the AI to expand the scope of what it can handle over time. Now, why does this matter? As I alluded to earlier, speed is critical for delivering a great customer experience on chat and messaging. In fact, just a 30-second decrease in response times leads to 25% fewer dissatisfied customers. And quality. Quality is also really extremely important. So those rich product cards that I showed earlier lead to a 63% increase in conversion rates over sending simple blue links. We're really excited to be building the future of customer service. We'd love to chat with anybody who's interested in working with us. Please come see us at the reception to see Agent Q in action. Thank you.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm Ben Chesler. I'm one of the founders of Imperfect Produce. We are the largest and only provider of ugly produce boxes directly to your door in the Bay Area. And so right now we deliver about 6,500 boxes a week to consumers in the Bay Area. And you can imagine that's a logistical nightmare. And the company that I'm about to introduce right now, Axlehire, has been with us from day one as our logistics partner so that we can focus on what we do best, which is sourcing, production, and of course, taking Instagram photos of weird-looking fruits and vegetables. They've made everything seamless from handling the routing. They have a really powerful algorithm that handles the routing of delivery. To the drivers have been top-notch, to also a dashboard that lets me see in real time where the deliveries are, where the drivers are, to alerting the customers when their packages are on the way. It's made it really seamless for us and allowed us to scale up operations from about 100 customers to about 11,000 customers over the course of a year. They've grown with us. We love what they're doing. So without further ado, Daniel Sokolovsky, the CEO of Axlehire.
Hi, everybody. I might not even need to introduce myself because 2 customers here have already done so for me. But anyways, I'm Daniel Sokolovsky, CEO of Axlehire, and I'm here to tell you about the future of same-day delivery. First, though, I need to tell you a little bit about the past. I grew up in logistics. My family business was a courier company, and as a little kid, I was obsessed with delivery. I spent a lot of time dispatching drivers, dealing with customers, and even doing routes myself every so often on my bicycle. What I realized about the courier industry and logistics in general was that a little bit of technology would make it so much better and take all the inefficiencies out of it. Unfortunately, looking at the industry as it stands today, I've seen that it hasn't changed much. Dispatchers are still calling drivers to find out where they are. Drivers are still given routes on a piece of paper to let them know where they're going. But the worst part of it all is that consumers still have no transparency as to where and when their packages are getting delivered. With growing consumer expectations, however, for same-day delivery, all retailers are now trying to find a way to offer their customers faster and better shipping options. However, all retailers but one have struggled to find a good option. Traditional shipping carriers such as UPS and FedEx have been unable to serve these customers. After announcing 2-day shipping, they've backed away from offering same-day delivery because their asset-based and hub-and-spoke models made it too costly for them to offer same-day delivery at a price that consumers were willing to pay. So what is it that businesses have left to do? When times are changing, consumers are getting more and more needy about how they want their deliveries. So what can your business do to help compete in this new space? Axlehire offers a simple, easy to get started, easy to onboard, same-day delivery option for all of our merchants. We consolidate their requests, we prepare them into efficient routes, and we utilize existing fleets in order to fulfill the routes on our behalf. Our routing algorithm is super advanced. I wouldn't be able to do it myself in the way that we'd be able to route these with different vehicle types, different vehicle capacities, and really separate differences between refrigerated and perishable inventory. Using our routing engine, we're able to plug into existing fleets, such as courier companies and existing freight providers, to fulfill deliveries on our behalf. This allows us to scale very rapidly into new areas. We started out in San Francisco. Los Angeles took us only 2 weeks to get into, and we're confident that it would take us the same exact amount of time to enter any region in the United States. At $5 per delivery, we've literally made same-day shipping cheaper than 2-day. What that means for consumers is that now they're able to go and choose the shipping option that they prefer at a price that they're willing to pay. Many of our merchants subsidize the delivery costs. Others pass those along to their consumers, and their consumers are happier paying a price that they're used to for better quality of service that they can get from Axlehire. So what that means really is it allows us to go and infiltrate the new market, offering same-day delivery to new retailers, to new merchants across the board. In the case of Imperfect Produce, thank you, Ben, for introducing me earlier. We started out with them last November. Since then, we've helped them scale over 25 times for the past few months. That means we've delivered to their 11,000 customers, we've provided good quality of service, and best of all, they're now joining us in Los Angeles in January. So we've actually helped these guys scale all of their logistics needs, helped them solve their logistics challenges, and we're there for them in the future. The reason why they weren't able to work with another company is that the traditional company that's our size is doing only 5,000 shipments per month. Last month alone, we did 40,000. Our revenues have grown tangentially as well. Over the past couple of months since we started the accelerator, our revenue amounts have doubled. Our volume has doubled, and we're confident that we can keep going at this rate and hit $300,000 in monthly revenue by December of this year. What this means for our business is that the market is there, but the team that we have behind it is very powerful. We've combed some of the best people from the operations and software industries that we're able to utilize to create a hybrid of logistics experience that we need to power the future. We're able to power logistics of the produce space, of the retail space, of pharmaceuticals and other industries as well. And our real value add is that we allow these businesses to scale rapidly while still offering their consumers the best customer service possible. So please join me and join Axlehire as we embark on our $6 million round. Please see us afterwards at the end of the show, and we'd love to tell you more about the future and what we can do for you. Thank you, everybody.
Hi, I'm Kelly Robertson. I head strategy at RGA San Francisco. I've been lucky to help a lot of the companies you've seen today define their positions and articulate their points of view on the world. One of the big themes you've heard is about customer experience and our human inability to be patient and wait for things. I'm excited to introduce our closer for today, partly because of his deep history in helping major e-com brands improve their customer experience. But today, he's going to present to us a solution to a problem and a pain point the majority of online retailers are still overlooking. Please make David Sobey feel welcome on stage.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm David Sobey, the co-founder and CEO of Happy Returns, and mercifully, your last presenter today. Happy Returns is tackling the painful challenge of returning products purchased online. We're a technology, logistics, and service company that enables in-person returns for online shoppers. In simple terms, we enable buy online, return to store for retailers without stores. Returns are an inevitable part of shopping, but they're also a massive problem for retailers. The National Retail Federation estimates that $260 billion worth of goods were returned in the US last year. And if you're a retailer that sells online, this massive problem is only getting worse. The rise of e-commerce has led to an increase in returns. While brick and mortar stores typically see return rates of 5 to 10%, online retailers see return rates 3 to 4 times higher. If you sell shoes or apparel online, it's not uncommon to have a return rate of 30 to 40%. Just think about that for a minute. That means 1 in every 3 items that you pick, pack, and ship out of your warehouse each day is something you're going to see again as a return. And if you're a retailer with no stores, that means one thing for your customers: some version of put it in the mail. Anyone that shopped online can relate to the woman in this picture. She shopped online, and as often happens, something she bought didn't fit. Perhaps she bought multiple sizes of the same item and is now returning the ones that didn't fit best. Or perhaps the item that she bought didn't look quite as good on her as it did on the highly photoshopped model online. She's now tasked with the painful chore of returning via mail, an inefficient and cumbersome process compared to returns in person. Returns by mail are inefficient or are inferior to returns in person for a number of reasons. First, they're slow and often take 10 to 15 business days to complete. Second, they're inconsistent. Every retailer that sells online has their own return by mail process. Take something as simple as the prepaid shipping label, arguably the only innovation in the history of e-commerce returns. Every retailer implements this slightly differently. Some folks include it in the box. Others make you log into your account online to print the label, while still others require an email to customer service first to get a return authorization before they'll email it to you. These inconsistencies add up and compound for the online shopper. Finally, returns by mail are complex and require the dreaded arts and crafts project of preparing a return for shipment. Shoppers have to find a box, secure a label, find packing tape, and figure out which carrier am I supposed to return this through. Returns in person, by contrast, are fast, consistent, and simple. Hand your goods to someone and get your money back immediately. Happy Returns is building a network of physical return locations where online shoppers can return in person for an immediate refund, eliminating the hassle and wait of returns by mail. We call these return locations return bars, and this photograph is a picture of our first return bar, launched in April at Santa Monica Place. Return bars are staffed by returnistas, folks that are highly trained and process returns all day long. Happy Returns take 4 simple steps to complete. First, Shoppers from participating online retailers bring their items to a return bar, the same way they'd bring an item to a store. Second, returnistas ask a few simple questions to look up that shopper's order history and verify the item can be returned. Third, we conduct a quick but thorough inspection to confirm the item is in returnable condition, ask the customer how they want their money back, and signal to the retailer that it's okay to process the refund. Fourth, we aggregate all of the items from that retailer, stick them into one box, and ship them back, saving significant amounts of money on the return shipping cost. We believe that in a happy return, every stakeholder in the transaction wins. Shoppers get the return method they overwhelmingly prefer, something that's fast and quick and gives them their money back immediately. Online retailers sell more because they've removed return friction and also save money by aggregating returns for shipment and reducing the calls into customer service inquiring about the status of returns. And finally, stores and malls that host return bars get exactly what they need: a steady stream of highly qualified, quantifiable foot traffic into their properties. Online shoppers with return credits to spend. So let's talk about some real-life examples. Tradesy's been a Happy Returns customer since we launched in April, and over the past 6 months, we've returned hundreds of products for Tradesy customers, many of which are featured here on this slide. We survey every customer that returns through Happy Returns, and we're proud to have earned a Net Promoter Score of 92 and to have earned scores of positive comments like the ones you see here. My favorite is the one on the bottom left, all around joyful. Think about your last return by mail experience and ask yourself, would I describe it as all around joyful? We feel great about this because it means we're living up to the brand promise of providing happy returns. We're also excited to make a new customer announcement today. Starting next week, Rent the Runway members will be able to return dresses, apparel, and accessory rentals to Happy Returns location in Santa Monica. We're also excited to announce the expansion of our return bar network to 2 new Westfield properties, Westfield Topanga in Los Angeles and here at Westfield San Francisco, where this picture was taken several weeks ago. I'll close by leaving you where we started and encourage everyone in the audience to don't worry, return happy. We'll be around after the showcase and look forward to meeting many of you. Thank you.
It's me again. So just want to say a quick thank you for all of you guys for being here. Hopefully you learned a lot about these companies. They're eager to meet you, show you more details about what they do and how they do it. If I can get all the companies up here on stage, we can give them one more round of applause, and then we can break for some networking and some refreshments and some in-depth conversations. Photo opportunity.
Everybody find a space. No, I'm good. I got the selfie up. I got the selfie up when we're done. Are we good? We're gonna have a perfect photo for this. Music?
Yeah, we need some music.
Hey, can somebody deliver some fruits? Yeah. Wait. Thank you. Ready? Woo! All right.
Thanks again.